Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm Zachary Fowler, and we are live out in the woods at my shelter, the 87 Days Shelter. Thanks for coming out with me and hanging out by the fire. Got some right there, bacon wrapped cheese. This time I thought to bring the cheese, and I'm working on a video for tomorrow morning. I'm gonna do some bacon wrapped what? So I got, let's see, we got some tomatoes. You have to watch tomorrow morning to find out what I do with that. A nice apple. I know it's not keto, but whatever. Today, I'm gonna spoil myself with a bacon wrapped cheddar apple. Maybe I even got some fancy prosciutto and just make this beautiful smoked thing over the fire. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. But yeah, that's what I think of everything I do anyway. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's it look to you guys? How's it look? Does it look good? Let me know what you think. The test earlier seemed to go really well. So this is a special test for something a little bit bigger and a little crazier. I thought we'd do this out here now because I am planning on something really huge and really epic leading up to Christmas time here with some crazy, crazy stuff for you guys. That's why I haven't been around as much with as many videos, because I'm trying to get that ready. And getting that ready is almost more important than cranking out videos just now. I'm going to be heading up. I can definitely tell you about heading north to hang out with the Hidden Woodsman on the 24th of this month. We're going to be up there for 2 weeks. We're going to try and do a wilderness living challenge bear, you know. We're going to try and get a bear, eat a bear, spend our whole time. If it doesn't work out, we'll be eating something, ducks and things like that. We're bringing up a shotgun and a slingshot and some gear, and we're going to go out and just... Me and the Chris there, the Hidden Woodsman, we're going to have some fun out in the woods. And when I get back, I'll be back for 3 weeks and then heading out on something extremely epic, like a first time ever on YouTube thing. And that's what part of this live stream is all about, practicing up for that, seeing if it all works and stuff with the transmitter and booster and things. You can check that out in tomorrow's video. I'll show you the booster and how this live stream worked, how I'm able to stream from the woods, which is a really cool thing, the WeBoost. I'll link it in the description below anyways, even if you have to see it tomorrow. I've got an older video on it. It's like living out in the woods. You're able to use the WeBoost. We had like one bar up here in the woods. My yurt is, halfway across the property over there. And we had one bar, and now with the WeBoost, you plug it in, minimal energy, you get 4G, full signal, boom, you touch their phone, and you're watching YouTube out in the woods. But, or streaming, like today. Happy birthday. Okay. Happy birthday to, are you saying it to yourself? Happy birthday, Sean. It was all great when I set it up initially. So yeah, we're out in the woods. I'm not going to be doing live streams on Sunday mornings anymore. I feel like it just takes too much away from me being with the kids and stuff. I'm still going to try and put out my bushcraft video every week on Sunday mornings. And then when I get back from my time with Chris up there, the Hidden Woodsman, I'll be putting out like a run of bushcraft videos, me and him. And I think they're going to be Wilderness Living Challenge for like several videos of us hanging out up there in Canada. And so that's going to be awesome. But no more lives on Sunday morning. I'm going to try and do them Saturdays. I'll set up a scheduled time so that it's posted. If you hit that little bell icon, you'll get notification of it. And like today. So... WeBoost is great. Somebody else must have that. Then it's frustrating. I can't imagine buying a home and not having one of these. If you buy a home in one of these places with low signal, that's part of the modern world. It's like you don't have regular phone lines anymore. Everybody has a cell phone. So let's see. And if you got any questions for me, leave them with a double question mark below. It's been a while since we've done this, well, live stream and answered questions at all. Do you remember what jacket you wore on 87 days? I had LL Bean vest that I had sewn into a, if you see them on like Instagram, there's those jackets that have really cool like zipper spots and patches and zippers on the sleeves and stuff. And that's what I took with me, basically. I'd gotten one at the Army Navy store. They're just a really junky jacket made in China, and I took it with me on a loan, if that's what you're talking about. And if you've seen it in some of the earlier videos, And I stripped out the liner and sewed in my vest from LL Bean because you weren't allowed to have a vest on the show. And I I don't wear a jacket here in Maine all that often. I'll wear like a sweater or a fleece and then my vest because I feel like it breathes better and stuff. So yeah, that's what I had. And I think I talk about that in my first 87 days video if you're interested. What is your favorite thing to catch and cook? Anything I'm allowed to catch and cook. Here in Maine, you can catch fish and cook them. You can take a rifle out and go shoot squirrels during the right season and deer and things like that. But I kind of like doing it the hard way. So there's not a lot of opportunities for that. Right now, my favorite catch and cook is bacon smoked over the fire. That's got a mozzarella stick inside. And if you tune in tomorrow, I got like 5 or 6 other ones that I'm going to be making as I'm out here after I'm done with you guys. And it's going to be a bacon wrapped what video tomorrow morning. And we're going to make a camp. I'm going to make a camp chair while they're smoking and whittle a slingshot, the usual, kicking around the fire this time kind of stuff. So, so this shelter right here probably not going to go much further this year because of the big things that I have planned for you in this YouTube channel with the going up to the spending that time with the hidden wooded beardsmen. I say hidden woodsman, packs right there, but wooded beardsmen, and that will be there for 2 weeks, and then come back busy editing and releasing those, and then heading to somewhere crazy to do something crazy for a long time, and it's going to be epic. So I'll be telling you about that around the 11th of November, and you'll be able to know the full breakdown of all that. The big adventure that'll take us through Christmas in lots and lots and lots of videos, all about survival and adventure. Hi, Zach. I bought the Axiom ocularis. For those of you buying slingshots, keep saying, oh, please make a slingshot, how to slingshot video. It's almost finished, the how to shoot a slingshot video. I just wanted it to be as concise as possible. There's a lot of people that talk about how to shoot out there if you want to learn, like Gamekeeper John, Bill Hayes, things like that. But this one's going to have like digital added stuff into it, so it shows like the shooting stance and lines drawn through that to referencing and full breakdown. Very simple to understand so that you can get good at shooting slingshots in like a day. Be like hitting cans consistently. Ever think about any underground fort? Oh, I love that. Was one of the things I thought about watching this season of Alone, was like, why didn't somebody bring a shovel? It looks like there's a lot of sod there. You could dig up the sod and build a sod fort that's half underground, and that would be pretty cool. You'd be warm. You'd have a fire in the center. It'd be pretty awesome. Make survival bow and arrow. I haven't had a bow out and played with one since I picked up my slingshot 2 years ago, before I went out on Alone, and I don't have any plans on picking on up anytime soon. I just got so much going on, trying to like beat the Guinness World Record with the fastest knocking down cans in a minute with a slingshot, and then trying to become the most accurate person in the world with a slingshot. So if I make a bow and start shooting bows again, it'll take away from what I've already been practicing. I imagine it wouldn't take long though for me to pick up a bow and switch over to it. And right now my newest thing I want to practice is working on with my hammer and shooting arrows for getting fish and for hunting, so that I can take something with the hammer slingshot from SimpleShot, which you can see the link below is if you don't see anything that you like on fowlersmakerymischief.com for slingshot survival gear and things like that, there are other affiliate links, partners with us that are linked below that support this channel when you guys shop there. You ever plan on trout fishing, make a bushcraft shelter? Fishing, making. There's my bushcraft shelter right there, and the newest stuff that's coming down the road is going to be is what's consuming all my time. That's why there hasn't been more videos out lately, but I'll be getting a new trick shot Tuesday out, Tuesday or Wednesday, as I finish the editing and filming of that, and that's going to be pretty cool. It's about the World Cup slingshot that I have that we sell on the website, and practicing for the World Cup, and that's why I'm not picking up a bow and getting into that right now, because I want to practice I want to place in the World Cup at least next year and win someday down the road the World Cup slingshot tournament there. How you do? I'm doing great. This is pretty cool. Coming all the way out here, doing a live stream from the shelter. I thought this is cool. In the test, I tried moving the camera around. It blurs a lot if you move the camera at all, but it seems like it's pretty clear if we just sit here and talk. So I'm doing some bacon, and I got all kinds of stuff for tomorrow's video where I'm going to do some bacon wrapped cheese stuffed tomatoes and apples and things like that, calling it bacon wrapped what? And so look for that tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to keep up the schedule of bushcraft videos on Sunday, trick shot Tuesdays, filming them and editing them, sometimes posting on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then all of that's going to get kind of combobulated for a little while as I go up north to spend 2 weeks with the Wooded Beardsmen in Canada, and we do a bear hunt and survival thing for 2 weeks. And hopefully we get a bear. So those of you that pray for a bear for me. And so that's going to be epic. And then come back and then head back out for another huge adventure that's going to take all the way through Christmas. But there will be footage and filming because it's happening on this channel for you guys. Super epic. I'll be able to tell you the full details around November 11th. So look for that. And dare you, Zach, to cook an apple? I know apples aren't keto, so I'm gonna be taking a keto break today to have a cheddar cheese stuffed bacon wrapped prosciutto apple. It's gonna be good. And I'm gonna make a, I say we, like a frog in my pocket or something. Gonna make a camp chair and probably whittle a slingshot while they wait for them to smoke over the fire and stuff. So how come out on top that Alone show? Who came out on top on the Alone show? Sam won this season, if you haven't seen it already. Alone was pretty wild out there in Mongolia. That was amazing. And if you haven't seen season 3 of Alone, and you've been watching my things and you're like, what is this guy talking about? Alone, these Alone 87 days episodes, you know, the Alone show on the History Channel survival show that I won after 87 days surviving alone, beating out 9 other contestants, beat out my own self, apparently, 10 other contestants, is now on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can watch it for free instead of paying the $39.99 or whatever it was on Amazon and things like that. And it might even be, I heard History Channel's actually opened up their website and now allowing you to watch seasons of their Alone on there more easily. It used to be odd to jump through a bunch of hoops. Do you still remember the super smooth round grip slingshot you showed me? Yes, the slingshot that I showed you at the WAZOO booth when I was out there in Portland, Oregon, is my slingshot that I wanted to turn into a production slingshot that I carved from a natural fork, the one that I used to get 6th place in the East Coast Slingshot Tournament, my first tournament that I ever shot in earlier this year. That one is the one I want to turn to a production slingshot. I'm having it scanned and 3D printed so I can send that 3D print to another country where they can affordably make me a cast version of that. And then maybe the second version, which will be the cheaper version after that cast version comes out for like $90 or $70 or something like that, will be like a molded one with a collaboration, hopefully with SimpleShot or something like that. But we do have my own Fowler's Bakery Missive slingshot already. The Hornet right there. You might have seen it in a bunch of my videos. Awesome little slingshot. It's mostly an EDC slingshot. So if you guys are going on my site and you're like, what slingshot should I get? If you want one that goes in your back pocket that you can bring with you all the time, the Hornet is the bomb. If you want the best slingshot on my website, it's the SimpleShot Axiom Ocularis. That's the one that you could put a heavier band set on. You can shoot through the forks, over the top. And so if your style changes as you start to practice and you find you like one thing, that slingshot is the slingshot for you. And it's a great price. And it's awesome. So have you ever made fire hardened custom slingshot? If you watching my the forging one, I made a slingshot, and I like to wood burn my slingshots. The natural forks that I sell on the website are all ones that I cut in the spring here when the bark was peely, and then I torch them. I say we. I always say we for some reason. Um, I torch them and to add a patina and like staining effect to them, and then rub them with oil like 4 or 5 times so they're good and like built-in rubbed finish on them, so they're nice looking slingshots. I'm getting a dog today. What's a good dog name? Good dog name. You know, I had a dog once, and his name, I named him Piston. And everybody else thought that was so funny because he peed all over everything all the time, but he was a puppy, so they do that, you know, so like little pisser. But I don't know. It all depends on the dog, right? Like everything seems to have its name built into it, and when you find it, you'll know what its name is. I always think, you know, some people have true names, and you always want to call them that. And I think I don't want to say my parents made a mistake, but somewhere underneath my name is like Josh, because whenever anybody gets my name wrong, ever, they're like, "Hey, Josh," and I'm like, "There's no other Josh in the room." And it's like I always know it's me for some reason, like instantly, like that they're talking to me no matter where they're saying out of the corner of their mouth or not. Like, why does everybody always mistake me for Josh? Like, that's not, I don't know. Nowhere near Zachary. I'm like, but that's what happens. So, for those of you just signing in, we're smoking some bacon over the fire, having a little palather out here at the shelter, my 87 days shelter. If you haven't seen the 87 days series, you can go back and watch from the beginning and see all the stuff I did on there alone. Alone is now on Hulu that you can watch for free. And tomorrow's video is why I'm out here and doing this is I'm smoking bacon wrapped tomatoes with cheese and apples and all kinds of creations. I'm going to try a whole bunch of different things with different types of cheeses, and you can see that video tomorrow. Make a chair, camp chair, and whittle some stuff. It'll be great. So, and practicing for a big something coming up with heading to Canada with a wooded beardsman, and then headed somewhere else for something even bigger than 2 weeks in Canada. What's bigger than 2 weeks in Canada? You'll have to wait and see. November 11th, I'll make the announcement. Will you have a winner of a loan on your channel? I want to. Sam is actually coming up here for a class that he's going to be teaching down the road in somewhere here in Maine, and I would love to have him over for a visit. Have I ever had another winner? I had a winner of the wheel on here. When I was down there at Blade Show, I ran into and hung out with Dave and Alan and those guys briefly and stuff. More Dave than Alan, and a bunch of the Naked and Afraid people and older videos and stuff. But I don't get out a lot. You know, I'm like home with my family and doing my best to make another video and edit it and get it out for you guys and have fun with it. You know, and even as it is, this 87 days series is kind of morphing into something else. I think now it's like there's a lot of stuff that I still did out on loan that people only ever got a glimpse of in teasers or trailers that they never even put out on the show. And but I just don't like doing stuff twice all that much. So that's why last time I hammocked up a tree. It was an idea I had at one point when I was watching season 1, like, oh, bear territory. Maybe a hammock would be a good thing. And then you could put your hammock way up in a tree. And then I called it bear safe because I knew that people would all want to click on it because they would want to see it, and other people would want to just be like, you're an idiot. But I know bears climb trees. It was partially clickbait, and partially I think it would be a great way to go to a bear infested territory and feel a bit safer. You'd be up there. They wouldn't be able to scent you as easily because you'd be up and their wind be coming across. And if they did find you, it might be more effort than it was worth. I have seen them go up tree stands and stuff, but if you built your shelter out, and I had 87 days, built a bigger platform, you know, went full Swiss Family Robinson up in the trees, would they climb up underneath of a platform, out and up and around? You know, I don't think so. And if you had all that time, you could build little pathways from one tree to the next with other sticks, and you'd be able to escape and evade for the most part. So I still think it's a viable, pretty cool idea. And you'd be, first off, you're safe from wolves, and your scent trail is in a different position, and you're not just laying there like bear chum or mountain lion chum right there on the ground. So take you to make, how long does it take me to make a natural fork slingshot? Depends on how the detail I carved into it. The one that I'm going to have turned into a custom slingshot, that one probably took me like 7 hours to carve, because I carved it in all the different planes of it and shapes, and drew it all, and I carved it like, you know, in one dimension and then another dimension, and then made it 8-sided, and then, you know, just as if I would when I used to build boats and build a spar. You plane it down to 4 sides and its tapering shapes, and then you plane it down to 8 sides, and then 16, and then 32, and then you start your sanding around, so that way it ends up perfectly smooth all the way around. So I'll have to do a how to make that kind of a slingshot video one of these days. But is the axiom ocularis that is accurate, right? It is, yeah, the axiom ocularis. Can't miss it. It's on there. It's the one that has the 2 little rubber stoppers. Those are and like, they're pretty sharp looking slingshots. They're 30 bucks, I think. What you have on the fire? I got a bacon wrapped smoking right now with a mozzarella stick inside. And for tomorrow's video, after I'm done chatting with you guys, I'm gonna be throwing some cheddar cheese stuffed apples and tomatoes with prosciutto and stuff. It's gonna be called bacon wrapped what for tomorrow morning's video. I'm gonna try and keep up with bushcraft videos on Sundays, and if it's not tomorrow morning, it might be tomorrow evening. I'm not sure. I'm changing up my schedule a bit because it's going to get even crazier heading out. I'm working on some really big projects, so they are consuming time that otherwise would be put towards making videos right now. But I'm going to put out so many videos coming up towards Christmas that it's just going to be mind-blowing because of the series that I'm working on. So you'll be loving it. Trust me. And I'll announce that on November 11th. And until then, it's going to be up in Canada with the Wooded Beardsman and some ventures there, bear hunts. So, are you not scared to stay in the woods by yourself? No. After 87 days alone in Patagonia, I mean, there's creepy noises in the woods no matter where you are. And I got used to that kind of living on the other side of my property here in a yurt for years. You know how I beat being scared of the woods? I'll tell you, when I first moved out here like 15 years ago, and I moved into a camper, I dragged a camper way up onto my property, moved into a camper, and I go out at night to pee in the woods, and I hear a noise in the bushes, I hear coyotes, things like that. I said, I'm not going to be afraid of the woods. How can I do that? I said, I got to know what it is. The scariest things are things that you don't know what they are. So what I did is I said, okay, I'm not gonna be afraid of the woods. I'm gonna know what it is. I take my headlamp, open my knife, and I charge through the bushes, and it'd be a porcupine, or it'd be a raccoon, and it'd be running off, or a squirrel, or a chipmunk, or a deer. Even a couple times I startled and stuff. The only time it almost came back to bite me was after at one point I was all like kind of down and out after my first marriage, and so I see something moving in the bushes, and I said, I gotta get off my butt and be something more, and I'm sick of being bummed about all this. I was like, and I thought it was a bear, and I saw this brown rump, and I was like, I'm gonna have my Jeremiah Johnson moment. I did it again. I'm gonna take my knife, and I'm gonna charge in there, and I'm gonna kill the bear. The bear's gonna kill me. And I charged into the bushes, and it turned out to be a full-grown female moose. And it was about as scared as I was when we bumped into each other. It turned tail and ran the other direction. Fortunately, I was lucky on that one because that was pretty stupid. And after my head cleared, I had a good laugh at that and realized that were it a bull, moose, or a bear, and I hadn't scared it, which is more likely than not when you go charging after stuff. You're going to scare it away, at least here in New England for the most part, unless it's defending cubs or it's in rut or something like that. If you go charging after stuff, almost all these animals will run away from you. And so I realized that, in some instances, maybe confronting your fears could be handled in a slightly better manner that doesn't leave you with a possibility of being trampled or mauled. But that's something I've always wanted. Like I wished for every day that I was out on alone. I had these boar traps that were like a log you jump over, and then there was a pit. And I was always ready with the camera. I always filmed like every minute because they said there was boar out there, and there was sign, but they all left during the winter time. So we were there all winter, and there wasn't anything to kill or hunt. So I was like, but I was always hopeful because I heard a couple times noises in the night, and I thought, if I'm walking along and this comes after me, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna have my Jeremiah Johnson moment. You remember Jeremiah Johnson? The old guy has a grizzly chase him into the cabin, and he dives out the back window, and Jeremiah Johnson has to finish off the bear while he's in the cabin with the bear, and then they clean it. And so I was gonna have my moment where I'm running and filming, there's a boar after me, and I jump over a log and it falls into the pit trap with the spikes, and I'm eating boar. And I was so looking forward to being the bait and having some big moment, epic. Delusions of grandeur, that's the story of my life. But hey, I've made a lot of them come true, so, if you have delusions of grandeur, don't let go of them. Just keep on keeping on, like Joe Dirt says, and make them happen. Do you have any tips for someone starting bushcraft? Books. My biggest tip is books. Amazon, used books, or garage sales. Garage sales are hard, though, because you hit a million garage sales and find one book. But for years, that's how I learned everything before alone. I would go to garage sales, thrift stores, old antique stores, and go through their book sections, find these old books or even sometimes new books on bushcrafting, and bring them home. Sit here Saturday mornings Saturday afternoons, Sunday mornings, because I'd go out doing that every Saturday morning, and then I'd come back Sundays. I would sit in my camper and I'd read my books while I lived out here in the woods, and I would, find all kinds of cool things to forage, traps to build to catch the woodchuck in my yard, and I would go out and I'd use these different things I learned from the old books, try them out, bring back a bunch of forage food, mix it with the foods that I already had, and have a little bit more in my life because of books. And the best book ever is when I stopped not sitting around on my butt in the camper on Sunday mornings going to church. The good book, the Bible, right? For those of you that read it, you're like, yeah. And for those of you that don't, you're like, see you later. But you're missing out. I want to get really good at slingshot, but I live in suburbs, neighbors. You can build a catch box. I put up a video. You can see it on my YouTube channel and or on my website, the slingshot, how to shoot a slingshot page, and the how to shoot a slingshot playlist. Say that 5 times fast. On my YouTube channel, and one of the videos in there, the first one in my older series when I started doing a how to shoot a slingshot thing, was catch boxes. And you can simply take a cardboard box, put a sleeping bag inside, shoot it a bunch of times, and the ammo will stay in there and you can reuse it, or you can build a really fancy one like I have at my home now, which is a big curtain with another curtain that the ammo falls into. So I got another video coming on that soon. So if you follow the how to shoot a slingshot page if you're wanting to learn more, because I'm going to be posting the videos and then taking them down after 24 hours so they don't clutter up the page, but they'll still be available unlisted in the playlists and on the how to shoot a slingshot page on my website, which has picture instructions about how to rig your slingshot and things like that, and safety and how to become awesome with your slingshot. What is your dream survival location? Pretty much this, but 100 years ago or 200 years ago, you guys any of you ever read S.M. Sterling? If you like, I love to read books about bushcrafting and creating things. But I love to, especially to, because they found I had dyslexia, so they prescribed me audiobooks. I love to listen to books about like doomsday prepper, survival books, like fiction all the time, like zombie apocalypse books, things like that. And S.M. Stirling wrote one about Nantucket and how it was all of a sudden sucked back in time, and how America was like 400 years ago or something like that, before people had settled here, and how much game there was. And if you read the book Witchery of Archery, that's an awesome book. That if you have any interest in the outdoors, you should read that. And but don't get offended at the fact that they're just like shooting the daylights out of everything with their bows, because it was a different world. They didn't know better at that time. Um, uh, you'll donate $1,000 if I do the hokey pokey. I have no idea how to do the hokey pokey. So, anyways, so Witchery of Archery, awesome book, super great read. It's crazy how much stuff they shoot. They're just popping owls and all these different game with their bows, and it's like, sounds like so much fun. To be in a different world like that where there was so much more game. And then there's the S.M. Stirling book where they're back in the day, and some of the people are all offended because they're whaling, and they're like, whales are endangered, but 400 or 600 years ago, whales weren't endangered, and a small colony of people whaling would not destroy the world's population. There's a sustainable amount of animals you could take and not destroy the population, and things like that, which becomes all the more harder for us to monitor nowadays because of the other aspects of things that pop into it, and weather change and things like that. What's the worst injury you ever got in the woods? I've never really been injured all that much ever. Can't even think of an injury. Oh, my eyes are watering. Thinking about that bacon. So good. It's just taking forever to smoke. It's gonna be so good. Oh, no, it's the smoke's getting my eyes. I don't think I've ever really had an injury. All my injuries have been like at work and things like that. Throwing my back out and cutting my thumb half off. Right there, I cut it all the way through, and stitch it back on myself. No, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't really ever injured myself. I kind of ascribe to the slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I don't ever move all that extremely speedily. I'm not one of those people that runs and jumps across trees and logs. As every time I see something that I look like I can jump on and flip over, I don't bother to do that kind of stuff. I've always wanted to do parkour and things like that, but I'm afraid of hurting myself. So if you're just coming in and just joining us, leave me a double question mark so I know that you have a question. I can pick that up by eye. And we're cooking some bacon. I got some bacon wrapped stuff I'm doing for tomorrow morning's video. Gonna be stuffing some apples and tomatoes with cheeses and different things, wrapping them. It's gonna be called bacon wrap. What? That'll be out tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, one of those times tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss it. Bushcraft videos on Sunday, Trick Shot Tuesday on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, depending on how that manages to work together, and headed to Camden on the 24th for our collaboration with the Wooded Beardsmen, and we are gonna be doing hopefully a bear hunt. Well, we're doing a bear hunt. Hopefully we get a bear and surviving for some time, and so I'll come back and be releasing a whole pile of videos on that. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. And then I mean something even more epic than 2 weeks out in the wild with the Wooded Beardsmen when I get back starting in November, and I'll be able to tell you about that on November 11th, and you can even get in on it. And so that's why we're doing a live stream today. We won't be doing any more live streams on Sunday morning. I'm leaving that up to the Lord and being with my family and getting to church and stuff like that in a better, more timely manner. So I'll try to do live streams on Saturdays like this, and we can even keep doing this like out at the shelter and cooking stuff and things like that. Have you tried making a bushcraft forge? I have not. that was one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to do out on alone. I brought some heavier ammo for my slingshot, and I was thinking if I could make a primitive forge with some clay, which I never found clay there, I could use my axe, the back of my axe, and or rocks, and pound it out and make like an arrowhead, knowing that I probably wouldn't use it all that much because I didn't need them, but I thought it would be fun to do. They said the more you film, the more you'll be on TV, so I built and made everything I could possibly think of, and still had 50 other things to build and make that I never managed to make out there. And so that's what we're doing now. Last week, hammocking up a tree was one of my ideas I had I think out there on Alone, or when I was home before that, when I was watching season 1 and thinking like, man, these people are leaving like really early on, some of these people, because the bear encounters. If you were up a tree, those bear encounters would be a lot less likely. They might come to the bottom of your tree, but I'd still feel a lot safer up a tree and knowing that I can move across my pole like I did with my hammock up at the tree, move across my pole to another tree and to another tree. I'd feel pretty safe instead of just being right there on the ground, possibly in the middle of where they like to come and have their evening poop, you know, and next to their favorite berry bush that they had left some berries on that they intended to come back to. What knife are you carrying? I carry the Cold Steel Ultimate Hunter here, not just because it's orange, but so far out of all the knives that I've played around with, it's got a huge spine. If you really like batoning, which I don't, it's just a rugged knife, and it feels good in the hand. And I always carry my Swiss, lots of stuff in my pockets today. I always carry my Swiss Army knife as well, just because I love this thing, and I always doing all kinds of neat stuff with a Swiss Army knife. And you've seen that other video the other day. All right, use this and it can remove knots. It's a great knife. I can't remember which one this is. It's the version with scissors, can opener, file, and a regular blade in it. But and all these things are linked below in my Amazon store. You can purchase all the stuff I had out on Alone, as well as our affiliate partners like SimpleShot and everybody else, as well as our FowlersMakeryMischief.com, where shopping all of those wonderful locations helps support this channel. So remember, Christmas is coming, and you might have somebody in your life that would like a special woodsy thing or slingshotty thing, and make them happy by shopping FowlersMakeryMischief.com. Thanks for putting up with me, guys. Are you going to let the bearded woodsman talk you into eating something funny stuff? I would love. I was throwing out some ideas myself. Like I don't mind eating gross stuff. So I imagine if we manage to get the bear, then we'll probably be doing bear meat cooked in mud, bone, whatever, smoked bear meat, smoked and boiled bear meat, fried bear meat stored in fat, bear meat. I don't know, whatever. Maybe we could find some really crazy way to cook bear meat. Maybe we can do a turducken bear duckin', where we get a duck and we stuff it full of bear, and then we stuff it inside of a goose, and we have a goose bear duckin'. I don't know. I think that would be pretty darn good. Bushcraft turducken. It sounds like, though, if we do get a bear, we'd probably have to send some back before we did our thing, because we don't want to waste any. So we'll be smoking some and keeping it under smoke, because at least that's what I'm thinking we'll be do. And then we'll be cutting off pieces, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. Lots of pictures, cover photos of big chunks of meat getting eaten by guys. It'll be great. What is the weirdest thing you have eaten in the woods? Probably just grubs, big old grubs there in Patagonia. In the end, I ate them a couple times when I was really hungry, but it was better to put them on hooks and catch more fish and be a little hungry that night and find the next day that I caught a giant trout, stuffed full of fish eggs and just juicy those pink shard. Oh, and then smoke it for, no matter how hungry I was, I'd smoke it for 4 hours. and then I sear it on the coals, and it just like just melts in your mouth. It was so good. It was still to this day probably the best thing I've ever eaten. Ever thought of collaborating with other Joe Robinette? I haven't really thought about it. You know, those guys have their own thing going on, and I don't travel much, and I don't know that they'd come my direction. We don't really talk. I'm thinking I collaborate with people that I, reached out to me and want to talk to me, and stuff. And Joe's never reached out to me and said, "Hey, come up for whatever." Do you have a plan for the water wheel? I wanted to do a Thanksgiving thing, but I'm gonna be gone. So I may do another water wheel video this fall where I do maybe a pig roast or something on it, and back in its original location where I started, now that the water's starting to come back with some rain. The fall rains will come and there'll be some water and I could do one. Or maybe I could do it right in the middle of the winter one because of that. What do you think about using zip ties? Zip ties are great. Use whatever you got. I'm not a purist. Some people are purists and they're like, I don't know what, they anything they do, they want to either use a piece of bark they peeled off a tree or rub two sticks together to make it happen. And I'm like, use what you got. That's why I start this fire with my Spartan fire and my WAZOO fire starter necklaces and stuff. I do like to start fires without necessarily matches or things like that. It's just I'm not afraid of like kit, like modern day survival-y kit things. What should you should cook ham on the water wheel? I think a little pig would be great on the water wheel. I don't know if I can handle the weight. I'd have to look into that. I think a younger, maybe a spring, like cold suckling or something like that pig might be something. Some people would really throw a fit about that, but it happens. Great for maybe a woodchuck. Woodchuck on, that almost rhymes. Woodchuck on the water wheel. I grew up. I got better. Would you like to try surviving in Alaska? That would be fun. That's a beautiful location. I've always wanted to go to Alaska. I always thought that would be pretty awesome, Alaska. I even had, after doing a show last year out in Colorado, I was out there with Ivan and Eve, and we talked a bit, and we've even kept in touch one or two times after coming back and talked about, oh, hey, how would you like to come up for a visit? He's like, that would probably do great for your YouTube and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're not kidding. It's just been a crazy year, and I haven't been going away from home very much. So this stuff coming up here soon, this super epic stuff that's going to be happening is going to be awesome. So maybe at some point I get a hold of Ivan and Eve Kilcher again and say, hey, you remember you said come for a visit? I'm in the neighborhood. Because we really hit it off. He's a lot like me with liking to make stuff. If you've seen their show where he's making a crossbow for his, they make each other stuff for Christmas, and I'd love to go up there and hang out with them and play in the woods in Alaska. That'd be fun. Let's see, what else? What about an urban survival video? I do have one urban survival video where I gave a homeless man my WAZOO fire starter necklace and showed him how to start a fire with bark mulch that was kicking around. And, he was probably just going to continue to use it to light doobies. But, so that was fun and interesting. That's when one of my older videos, like, I can't remember what it's called, something about giving a homeless man a fire starter or something. So, but tomorrow morning, bacon wrapped. What? I'm going to be wrapping all kinds of stuff in bacon after I'm off the live stream with you guys here, I'll build myself a little camp chair and whittle some stuff while I wait for my bacon wraps to smoke. And I'll post that video tomorrow. I like to say tomorrow morning, but it may be by tomorrow evening kind of thing, something like that. But bushcraft video Sunday, slingshot videos Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever I can get them out. The trick shot Tuesday videos as much as possible, and all of that stuff is suffering a little bit right now because I'm putting together this big stuff for you that's gonna take us through the new year with some huge, lots of videos, really big, bigger than China, bigger, really big videos that are coming for you guys. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be so big. All right, what do we got here? Hi there, new subscriber here. Love your channel. Thank you for the subscribe. Any diet tips? Bacon. Just eat bacon all the time. You're good. You actually lose weight. You feel great. You look better. You'll be handsome. Your skin, it actually helps your skin, makes it really smooth skin. I'm not kidding though. I'm kidding the way I'm saying it, but their ketogenic diet. You want to lose weight and feel more healthy and have your body cleanse of all of the poisons and toxins and stuff like that. You switch to a ketogenic diet, and after you have a little bit of a flu for a couple days, like 5 days in, you'll start to feel a little cruddy for like 3 days. Your body will cleanse. You get rid of some of the toxins that have built up. Your colon cleans out, so you're able to actually digest fats and get energies from them. You start feeling so much healthier, and you stick with a diet that has more fat than carbs, and especially sugars, any of the sugars and stuff. You know, you probably heard it a million times, any of you. You know, like you always shop around the outside of the store. You don't go into the middle of the store. Well, I mean, olive oil's in the middle, and that's great stuff. So that's not completely true, but you know, you got your meats, your vegetables, and it's like the Italians. Why are they so healthy? They're not ketogenic, but their fridge is full of fresh food. You know, you got your vegetables, your meats, your cheeses. You know, you're all fresh foods, no processed foods with junk in them. You know, so you can go extreme like me and try to do ketogenic where you're getting 60% fat and then you ripped, you're like, ah. And or you just, you know, have a higher fat diet, less carbs, and you start losing a lot of weight and you're full of a lot more energy once your body is able to process fats better. The processed foods mess your body up. You're not able to process fats, you don't get energy out of them, and your body starts stacking. If you can't process fats, your body starts stacking those fats onto your body, that it's turning sugars and carbs into fats instead of being used as energy. Your body starts stacking them on, and you're gonna gain weight over the years. It's inevitable. That's what happens to us Americans for the most part. That's what happened to me before alone. That's why I weighed 235, and I always had stomach issues and stuff like that. What natural things do you use to fight mosquitoes? Oh. There we go. That's my natural mosquito defense. No, Jamie, ex-wife now, there in the past made me all kinds of great bug dopes, and I still have them. They're oil-based, and so they're kind of frustrating. If you make natural ones, you almost have to like hang them around your neck in little spray bottles, and every 15 minutes, you know, you spray yourself a little bit, especially alcohol-based ones because they evaporate sooner. They work great, like lemongrass, what's that one that's the main? Citronella oils, natural citronellas, things like that. You can do some great natural ones. But at the same time, I'm not very mosquito baitish. So there's some mosquitoes out here today, but I don't get bit all that often, so I don't put it on. In somewhere that mosquitoes actually make you really sick, that could be not so cool. So I'm just fortunate I'm not that, they don't like me. That's probably part of the ketogenic diet. How long have you been out there? But today, just since like 10 o'clock this morning or something. So I come out here a couple times, or 1 or 2 times a week, depending on how fortunate I am that week. Last 2 weeks, I haven't been out of the house very much. So first, the kids didn't have daycare for a week before school started, and then once school started, they got sick, and so their Sparrow was home. So, but that was fun though. It's like snuggle with me and watch cartoons. I'm like, oh, okay. That is another reason why I haven't gotten many videos out lately. What kind of shovel is that? That's the cold steel shovel. I sell them on my website, fowlersmakerandmischief.com, where you can get all that wonderful stuff for Christmas and coming up and just all the time. And it's sharpened around the edges of the Spetsnaz. Used to use them for fighting, digging, trenching. I used it to win $500,000 out there, spending 87 days alone in Patagonia on History Channel's Alone Show, which you can see now on Hulu and for free if you have Hulu or Amazon and pay $35 for it there, which what makes more sense. Have you ever found any artifacts? I don't see outside of that rusty pail I found over here when I bought my land, and a rusty wheelbarrow I found over there. Bought my land. No, I haven't found any artifacts. But we're not very artifact rich around here necessarily where I am here in Maine, especially considering how many leaves fall to the ground and things get covered up and stuff. So it's not like, and some of the areas that are rich in artifacts where people used to go and dig around and bring home arrowheads all the time here in Maine, they would like, they're all closed off now, and I hear in other places it's actually illegal to take them out of there. If you find an arrowhead, you're supposed to put it back down, let somebody else pick it up and put it back down and not take it home, like, because that's gonna happen a lot, you know. I mean, if that's the point, then why don't we go to the museums and go to all those backlog drawers and start going seed the woods with arrowheads again and stuff. Can you see more multi-tool mod video? I will be doing a multi-tool mod video actually very, very soon when I get back from Canada. Though my time with the Wooded Beardsman and our bear hunting efforts have been revealed, I'm going to be doing something else even bigger than my 2 weeks out there in Canada. I will tell you about that November 11th. And of course, tomorrow morning, bacon wrapped. What? And I got all kinds of stuff, cheese and things. When I'm done with you guys here, I'm going to wrap a bunch of stuff in bacon, smoke it for some hours, build a camp chair out here, and have a video for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell icon because of the new schedule and how things are going with the kids. I will try to post Sunday morning. There won't be any more live streams Sunday mornings. I'm trying to do them Saturday. That's why we're doing this. And I will be posting at some point Sunday the video. So when are you going to catch and cook again? Very soon. Catch and cook a bear. I'll be heading on the 24th to Canada. And so we're going to be catching, cooking all kinds of stuff. So when I come back, it's just going to be I'm just going to like spam you guys with catch and cook a bear, catch and cook a turducken, you know, bushcraft turducken, you know, or a bushcraft squirrel duckin, you know, ducks with a squirrel inside of it and stuffed inside a goose. Although knowing the Wooded Beardsman, it'll be a skadunkin with a skunk with a squirrel stuffed inside and slow roasted over the fire. Actually, we got to do that. A skadunkin. Squirrel. I don't know. I'll eat it. I'll eat it. If we can get it and do it, I'll eat it. And it'll be totally keto, too. Did you build the shelter? Yes, I did. That's my shelter from the 87 Days series. If you guys are just tuning in and you haven't ever watched any of my videos before, there's a whole bunch of videos on building this and overnights here and stuff. It's all about reenactment of all my time out on History Channel's Alone Show, but as if I did it here in Maine with the resources we have here. And that's what tomorrow's video will be about loosely, because we're changing the format more and just moving on to newer and better things, like things I'll be learning and practicing for next times when I go out winners against winners on Alone someday, and or I don't know, maybe I won't want to go back. Maybe I just want to do my own thing here on YouTube and have my own if I could find a location, things like that, and make it all work. So, uh, the walls are, it's hurdle waddle right here, like you can see in the background of the cover photo, which is you drive stakes in and then you weave the smaller sticks in and out, just like I did out there in Patagonia, but with bamboo here with small maple and beech sticks. And then the walls insulated on the outside with reeds. So I bundled them up and then strapped them in tight to the wall and then pound them to work out any of the leaks. So it's nice and tight and insulated. And it's got a plastic roof on it. I was gonna like shingle it or something, and it's lasting really well. So I'm not stressed out about that with these big adventures coming this fall. Maybe I'll work on it this winter. But if I do shingle it and things, it'll ruin the filming inside. And for now, I just really enjoy being able to go in there and have all kinds of light in there and do my thing, come out here and spend the night in it and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a nice, really, really nice shelter, and it's working out really, really well. And I see it lasting for a long time. So especially if I maintain it as things start to go bad someday. Pretty much bomb proof right now. You can walk around on the top of it. It's so stiff and strong. Any other questions? What device would you give me if I won? What? Advice. Oh, advice device. What advice would you give me if I won $500,000? Invest it. Invest it. I invested some after winning my money, but I waited till, because they're like, oh, well, once you know what you're going to do with all the money, invest the money. But I should have taken 3/4 of that money, right. Well, first pay your taxes to the government, the estimated taxes, which is like 1/3, and then invest like 3/4 of that right away, because if I had done that right away, I would have had like $2,000, $3,000 a week, coming off of that, or a month coming off of that, above and beyond, and been able to use that while we made decisions about what to buy and things like that. And I didn't, and so I lost out on almost a year's worth of like extra $3,000 a month I could have had until I did dump the money into the investment thing. And it's like, man. And at that point, it was a diminished amount after buying the house and all this stuff. And it's like, wow. So live and learn, and stuff. There's only just so much you can do. You do better next time. That's why I gotta go back out again, because I bought a house that's a money pit. You ever seen Tom Hanks, The Money Pit? I haven't fallen through the floor yet, but it's only a matter of time. No, that's actually the one thing that's solid as I'll get out in my house, is the interior of the house. It's like the roof where it leaks up top somewhere, and then some little spots around the foundation and the septic and needing to be rebuilt. And it's definitely it's a Tom Hanks special for sure. Money Pit. When do you think your new shirt will be? I see a little bubble that's popped up while we're talking from the artist, and said, what do you think of it? I haven't opened it up yet because I don't want to mess up our live stream. So I'm hoping the new shirt will be available soon. That's pretty cool. He approached me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, you want to make me a drawing, thinking like, whatever, a little piece of fan art. And then I'm like, okay, let's work on this together, and like, you modify it this way and that way and make it really epic. It's gonna be a cool shirt. So I think that'll be ready in time for November and Christmas orders and all that good stuff right through the new year. Do you recommend eating Cambium? I don't see anything wrong with eating Cambium. Cambium. I know it took somebody out on a loan because that's all they ate. But just like the Bible says, God gave us everything in moderation. So if you eat all Cambium, that's not in moderation. You're gonna get plugged up. Too much fiber. And the Wooded Beardsman and I were talking. If you're gonna have an all meat diet, you need to have like 80% fat to be able to handle an all meat diet, to get everything a growing boy needs, so that you aren't diminished in another way. Just like seamen there, they didn't have anything fresh, and they bring the lemons. so they don't get scurvy. You know, it's like they had too much fish and all these other things, too much protein. You're all protein all the time, you get the scurvy. So there's nothing that you can live on. Some people have proposed pizza, and I suppose if it was a thin enough pizza so you're not eating, so the toppings and stuff were more of the pizza, maybe a gyro, you know, with some good vegetables in it, like oh, give myself the willies talking about thinking of gyros. I'm out here having bacon today, bacon wrapped, all kinds of stuff. So look for the video tomorrow, possibly tomorrow morning. Bacon wrapped bacon wrapped tomatoes stuffed with cheese and apples and mozzarella sticks inside of this one. And after I'm done here, I'm going to finish that video and go home and edit that for you for tomorrow, either tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. So hit that bell icon so you get the notified and things. So we're not doing live streams on Sunday anymore. Because I'm keeping that for my family. Can you do pull-ups? Yes, I can do pull-ups. I do lots of pull-ups. I actually have a pull-up bar on the way into my office, and every time I go past it, I make myself do a bunch of pull-ups. So that's a weird question. But do you lose your wife over your success? Can I answer that one? It's not about that, you know. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to uncover or say anything ungracious. So it's just better not to say anything at all. Needless to say, I didn't want that, to lose my wife, and I didn't want, you know. So, hello, Chris, Drop Forward Survival. How's it going? Congratulations on your 100,000 subscribers and being crazy enough to stay up doing a live stream all night long saying thank you to everybody over 100,000 times. You're insane. But he did it. Where did you learn to shoot the slingshot? I learned to shoot from Bill Hayes on YouTube and watching all of his videos, Gamekeeper John, and I think that was about it. I think there's one more person that I watched some of their videos, but there's somebody that had a lot of views on theirs from when they made a slingshot lesson, but they were still just talking about what they learned from Bill Hayes and stuff. And then I just shot a lot, and now I've come up with my own method. So I'm working on a how to shoot a slingshot video. It's going to be pretty cool, you know, a lot of detail with digital added stuff like some lines and things to show you the way your body breakdown and proper stance and things like that. So it's pretty crazy, but it's not about how I shoot the slingshot. It's about how best to shoot the slingshot starting out. So you could start out there and build up a good solid base and then build up to, if you want to, do what I do. Because if you try to shoot right off the bat the way I do at a full draw, you know, it's like a 56-inch draw length, you're going to end up shooting your finger off or shooting yourself from the side of the face or something like that. It took me a lot of practice and it's a little bit of pain to get to where I am now. And I've basically built this technique of the way I shoot based off of what I learned from Bill Hayes and those guys, and then combine that with Japanese Kyudo archery and how all that works. And I'll do another video after I've done the you should start out like this video and how to shoot a slingshot and you'll be able to hit cans within a day accurately video. Then I will do a how I shoot a slingshot video at some point. Do you make the pack basket behind you? No, I didn't. I found that at Goodwill. I was a super score. I score the coolest things at Goodwill. If you watch my other videos, all that stuff that you see in the background, I'm like super thrifty. And I go to Goodwill with the kids on Sunday after church. Every Sunday we go there and they look for toys. And if they find something special that they don't have, I usually buy it because it costs them $1, you know. And I find like some of the craziest things for myself, like my knife rack and all these crazy things, you know. So I even found a blowgun there for Sparrow last week. This little teeny blowgun with darts and everything, like a professional blowgun. It was awesome. That would be a cool video though, making a pack basket. There is somebody that said something about hooking me up with a pack basket, so I may get with them and go to their place instead of just getting a pack basket from them. It would be pretty cool to go there and have them teach me how to make a pack basket, and we could see that in the video before I just go traipsing around with it like, hey, check this out. You know, you can get the idea of how intense it is to build one of those things, or how easy it is. I don't know, because I have never done it. I've made a basket before out of oak. How are you live in the woods? I am live in the woods. If you look in the description below later, I will post how I'm live in the woods. It's a WeBoost, and it's what we used when we lived out here in the yurt on the other side of the property. That it's a receiver, antenna, and a transmitter, and it was like, there's versions for like $150, and then there's like the $600 version, which I have, which is worth it. If you live in a place where you got like one bar and sometimes you're dropping calls, or if you go to watch a YouTube video and you just can't watch one and they're always buffering, as soon as we got this thing, we hooked it up. It's like, it took 2 seconds to hook up, and it's like, boom, you got 4G. We got 4G right here, right now, and able to have live in the woods. I think it looks good, right, guys? So yeah, I'll put that in the link below, and it'll be a little clip about that and how this all worked to put this together for you today. In tomorrow's video, boom, bacon wrapped. What? I got some stuff. I'm stuffing it with cheese and smoking it over the fire. And I'm gonna finish that after I'm done talking to you, smoking it all for my dinner, and build a camp chair and do some whittling, and I'll put that video together. Bushcraft videos on Sunday, slingshot videos Tuesday/Wednesday as I can get them done, and maybe live stream Saturday mornings kind of thing, if we can get this get that all figured out. Just when I got it all figured out and I think I'm gonna get ahead in life, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be ahead at everything I'm doing, and I got a video cached away before I put and then the kids get sick and they're home for a whole week. So, you know, so yeah, yeehaw. So that WeBoost, it means that I got 4G and I can stream live on my camera from the woods, from my shelter out here. Whoa, a lot of comments going so fast. If you have any questions, leave it with a double question mark so I know. Why do you leave the torque? Why did you leave the torque? I don't know what you mean by that, leave the torque. If you meant at the bottom of the pool, we didn't. We fished it out. And if you mean I don't shoot it anymore, I just moved on to shooting my slingshots that I carved or made myself more often than not. Is this, if you're not even talking about that, then I'm sorry. Is it possible to kill a deer with a... Oh, it moved up right when I was... Is it possible to kill a deer with a slingshot? Yes, it is. You can have a sling bow and kill a deer. I've even heard a lot of rumors saying that they're legitimate from people, that there's a gentleman that killed a deer or knocked a deer out with a slingshot, not heavy ammo, and then jumped on it and slit its throat. So I don't see that would be totally impossible from a tree stand with a 3/4 inch piece of steel and a heavy slingshot, beaning one in the head. I don't think that would be impossible. It would be illegal in almost everywhere that I live and am able to go to. For sure, it's illegal. So, and they also do bang their heads on things. So it might not be a top of the head thing. It might be, you have to hit it in the side of the temple, and you'd be able to disorient it long enough to jump it. So it's not your best bet, but a sling bow is more than capable with arrows to take a deer. You should do a giveaway with the... I don't do giveaways. I mean, I did them once before, but then the person, stuff comes back to me. The 2 or 3 times I've done it, stuff comes back to me twice, and I have to send it to them twice, and so it's like, and then I'm not sure it ever even made it. I think the last 3rd time it came back after getting their address again, I just threw it back on the shelf, and they never said anything, and I was like, I felt like I ripped them off or something, but it's like, how many times? I said, give me your address. I sent it to you, and it came back to me 3 times. I got your address again and sent it back, and it's like, I mean, how obliged am I to? So it's like everything at times something seems to go wrong with it. Not every time. 2 or 3 of the other people that got second place and third place I sent stuff to, and it never came back, and they said thank you. So, which bands would you recommend me for my slingshot I am making? Any of the bands that we sell on the website are awesome. The Thunder TheraBand and the Amber Latex are probably the most general purpose, stronger, longer lasting bands outside of if you want to shoot regular stuff. If you want to shoot something a little heavier, the Rock Chucker bands. I don't sell it, but Natural Gum Rubber is the most durable band. That's why I took with me on a loan. And that stuff will last forever. It feels like forever, but it's also doesn't have as high of a stretch. So it's harder to stretch, and it's not as accurate because it's stiffer. So it's more of a shock, like the way tubing is on a wrist rocket. It's harder to be accurate. The more stretchy it is, the more accurate you can be. And but also the more stretchy it is, the shorter amount of time that you actually get out of it. Foraging for Dummies or Foraging for Idiots. Excellent book. Oh. Foraging for Edibles book. Foraging for Edibles recommendation. Then probably what Chris is saying. I like the just plain. There's some like New England Guide to Foraging and stuff like that. I always kind of just stuck with my region and things like that, and the ones that I found around at the thrift stores and stuff. Have you ever panned for gold? I have panned for gold and found some when I was a kid. We did it in school in Vermont and stuff a little bit. Haven't gotten back into it. I did buy some gold pans. I was gonna be all motivated to take the girls out to do it, and we've tried it a couple times, but not in places that we know there's gold, so nothing ever came of it. How did you keep the bugs off you when you were on alone? There wasn't any bugs out in Patagonia. It was winter time, and so there was no bugs. The biggest bug would be if you didn't keep your shelter clean and mice got into your shelter, and then you could be all getting the hantavirus and sick and having to leave, and you start knowing that you have hanta by respiratory issues is one of the first signs. We don't have this in New England yet, but just like anything else, as climates get warmer and things like that, and diseases pass on from one critter to another, things like that can show up in your area, coming to an area near you, thanks to the degradation of our planet. As things break down, things get worse, for the most part. Are you going to try some flint napping videos? Oh, you know what? You just reminded me. I bought some flint at the New England Bushcraft Show to support another, guy at the show, and I completely forgot all about those. I should try that sometime. Nap up, because I got some pieces that are big enough. I wanted to nap up a knife and stuff like that. Make like a bushcrafty flint napped knife, and so many things, so many ideas, and so little time. What are you gonna do? You do your best. Do you think President Obama is a traitor? I don't know about that. You know who I think is a traitor? Everybody thinks he's one of these great founding fathers, Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. I like the old. I don't really do anything with politics these days, or paying much attention to him, because I figure that God's got it in his hands. He's behind all the scenes, moving all the scenes he is behind, and he's got this whole world in his hands, just like they say in the children's song. So I'm not worried about it. Bring it on. It doesn't mean I want to be ignorant of anything, or I won't chip in if I can and try to vote for who I think is the best person. But I think we learn a lot from history, and I used to be addicted to listening to historical books, and Thomas Jefferson, everybody lauds is like such a wonderful guy and all this stuff, but like he actually betrayed this country while John Adams was president. He kept telling France to like not parlay with John Adams, and I would say millions, thousands of Americans were killed because the war continued, and we didn't find peace until the next president, and they were able to work on terms, because Jefferson kept saying, "Oh no, he's not reasonable. He's unreasonable," and he was mad at John Adams, and so, Little piece of history there for you. That that we actually Jefferson was actually a traitor to this country, and nothing ever did about it. No one ever did anything about it. Is it possible to kill a raccoon with a slingshot? That I don't know. That's a good one. I mean, with a sling bow, yeah. I'd like to say yes, with a good heavy duty, 3/4 inch steel ball and really beaning a raccoon, you could kill him, but I think you'd actually probably more like stun him. I've killed a raccoon with a blowgun, but it was a small blowgun and the darts were, those little teeny wire ones. And that took me like 14 shots because he was up a tree. They had killed one of my chickens. So I've done that. I don't know about a raccoon with, man, that would, because also another one because I had 2 bullets for the 22. I shot one and I shot another one, and the third one went up a tree, and one that I had shot with a 22 was still going, and I beamed him with a log a whole bunch of times and finished him off with that. And it took a while, and it was really sad, but I was in a bad mood because they'd killed all my chickens. They ripped open the side of my chicken barn and got in there. So, that was years ago. Um, do you ever find out where the drone came from? No, I did not find out where the drone came from. There's no SD card in it, so whoever was flying it didn't have any footage of them taking off in front of themselves or something like that. I don't think it could have fallen out, so I didn't go asking all the neighbors because it could be like literally any neighbor. A little drone like that decides to take off and just keep going. There'd be no accounting for where it took off from. And nobody said anything in the comments as far as I know. But I can't keep up with the comments from the last video because there's so many. What gave you the original idea for the Duck Hunter 3000? The Duck Hunter 3000 was... move my bacon down a little closer to the fire here. Yeah, maybe I'll just... It's been smoking for a couple hours now. I'll just keep it right in there. So the Duck Hunter 3000 was first a toy that my father made me, a little teeny paddle boat. Second was a doomsday idea I had of taking ice fishing traps and putting them on inner tubes and pushing them out into the water during the summertime, so you could have a string of inner tubes and floats with traps on it, and a video that I saw on YouTube of a guy with a platform that had some hooks with rocks for catching ducks. All of that combined, and when I realized that one cormorant or whatever he was there in Patagonia showed almost zero interest in ever eating my hook and getting caught, I figured I'd move over to fish, and I would be able to use the Duck Hunter 3000 to get my line a little further out past the weeds onto the other side where I had seen some fish moving along. I wish I had put more into that whole process right from the beginning when I got there and built my dock out and then along the weeds, and then in between my dock struts put fish traps that were more airy as far as like light-wise for bigger fish, and baited them with the fish eggs or something like that. I think it would have been, I would have eaten a lot more fish when I was out there had I done that. And I look forward to trying something like that again next time. Have you ever used a bicycle tube or car tire tube for slingshot? No, I haven't, because they don't, from what I've read about the way slingshots came up with years ago, and originally they used truck tire tube, but it was back when there was a different type of tubing. So the original truck tire tubes were more elastic and there was a better stretch ratio. And good latex, like I saw on the website bands, they have a 5-to-1 stretch ratio to a little bit more. And gum rubber has like a 4-to-1, and already that's very like slow and retarded enough that it's like its return rate is so slow that it's like it reduces your power and accuracy by like half. And a inner tube, and their stretch rate and return rate is like 1.5. So that's like I mean, you're basically, you might be able to throw something faster or use an atlatl or a sling to with a greater degree of power than that, and be better off. So yeah, I do want to try to do a MacGyver-y, like using the latex in my jacket strings or something like that. Maybe on the next Alone or something, because they're sheathed right on a jacket string. They're stretchy, but they're sheathed in like nylon, and so you have to take that off if you want to get the full stretch ratio, because the nylon bottoms out in its accordion style way it's knit onto thing. If you were to take those strands out and braid them all together, you would have regular latex that has a good maybe 4.5 to 5 to 1 stretch ratio, where you could have an accurate slingshot. The same thing with the rubber. If you pulled all the rubber out and braided it together in the bands of your waistbands of your underwear, as long as they were new enough, you might be able to get something that was a comparable, capable slingshot. Do you make your own arrow quiver? Did you make your own arrow quiver? I did make my own arrow quiver back in the day. I still have it, and all my arrows are damaged and or destroyed. Pretty much after my last slingshot sling bow video, where I shot the SimpleShot sling bow, and I shot some stuff. After I did the video, he was doing great, and then I put some arrows in and put some stuff on the nocks, and I damaged them by shooting just bad shooting. Like I was doing great when I first started out, and I made the video, and by the time I was done filming the video, I got really bad. My aim got worse and worse. I think as your arm gets tired and things. So I gotta start working on that again soon, because I'm planning on taking that with me to Canada and stuff. Oh, she's starting to seep cheeses. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, oh, you haven't seen it yet because I haven't made it yet. Tomorrow's video will be bacon wrapped what? And I'm gonna be wrapping all kinds of stuff after I'm done with this live stream in like 10 minutes for you guys. I'm gonna be wrapping and stuffing things with cheese and making a bacon wrapped what video. This looks really good. Oh, this one's got a mozzarella stick in the middle. So that'll be out tomorrow. So check that out. And I think we're starting to wind down. I'm starting to get tired of continually talking. But I have no idea where you try building to a house without racks. No idea what you're saying. What can we see Fowler the... Oh, when can we see Fowler and the Wooded Beardsman? I will be headed up there on the 24th. I'll be up there for 2 weeks, give or take, a little, and then I'll come back and start popping out the videos. Him and I are going to be putting them out at the same time, so we get the YouTube view acceleration thing going on. So it'll be epic. We're going to try and do that bear hunt. Should be awesome. So make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't ever miss anything, and watch everything and make everybody miserable by forcing them to sit down and binge watch all of my videos from back from the beginning, 200 and something videos ago when I started last year. And I think I'm running out of steam, so I am going to finish my bacon thing, wrap a bunch more stuff in bacon, so look for that tomorrow. And if you support this channel, you can hit up the links below in the description, buy all the fun stuff like the WAZOO necklace and or Viking whetstone that I use to sharpen my knife with, or hit my Amazon store up and buy all the stuff I've had on Alone. That will help support my channel so I can make more content and provide a better show for you guys. Got some epic stuff coming. I'll let you know what that's going to be about November 11th after I'm back from my time with the Wooden Beardsman in Canada, and we start posting those videos. I'm going to take it like right to the, oh man, it's going to be epic right through Christmas here. So yeah, and check out the links below for our supporters, affiliate stores, and things. And thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the likes, shares, and like I said before, make everybody miserable by forcing them to sit down and binge watch all of my videos. God bless and have a great day. Fowler out. How do I get rid of you? Huh? I don't know how to end this thing. Oh, there we go.